Oi, okay, so, right, I'm here. Right, let's actually, so, carrying on from last week with the structure system, hopefully it won't be too, yeah. So if I press E at the moment, it works as it should, no errors, good, which is fine by me. Let's just build a couple islands, and then you'll see how this works. Look, I can highlight those three, and yeah, that's all good to go. Okay, so what I need to work on now is effectively a structure, a menu that allows you to place the structures, and it will take the items from your inventory. The taking items from inventory will all be fine, and placing the structure will be fine. It's everything after. It's the polishing stuff that'll be annoying, to be honest. And it shouldn't be anything too crazy. As long as I what was it? Yeah, it shouldn't be anything too crazy. Let's just quickly. Let me just get this up. Don't mind that Minecraft. Just let me quickly set up this. Oh, I should probably have my mic a bit closer. Oh, okay, it might be a bit too close. Let me just copy all of that, and then let's try that. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That is all sorted. Finally. Nice. Okay, cool. Right, so what I want to do is... I've been thinking about this. This to me looks better if it was actually to build structures, not islands. Which is a shame, but I think that makes more sense in the long run. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose this. This will be the structure build menu. The islands will be, say, let's run this. Say, for example, you'll press E, but not E, you'll press a button, and then you can select a tile. You'll click on it, and then you can choose from a menu of islands. So for now, I think I'm just gonna have to switch that into the structure build menu. But I'll keep it for other stuff. But for now, I think we're gonna have to do that. So what I'm going to want to do with that is, first of all, I've got the build HUD and I've got the next build and build. I've got those. And is the player script the one controlling the... Let's check. What is controlling... I believe it might be Island Manager. Alright. This is the only issue, is trying to get this is annoying. Right, build HUD. Oh, I'm trying to find Island Manager and Certifier. It's on the main camera. Okay, no, that's fair enough. Okay, so I'm gonna have to like change that or remove it for now, and replace it with like a structure rotator. But I think for now, what I'm going to want to do is open up a sprite. So let me just open up a sprite real quick. We're going to have to start working on some stuff. So let me just do test island. And let's try this again. Let's take a sip of tea. Nice. Okay. So for this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open recent and open this. I'm gonna shrink this down to like a 30 by 30. Sorry, a 32 by 32 size. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. The size of this, and I think for that, what I'm gonna want to do is, how am I gonna do this? The issue I have with a sprite is when it comes to its color palette. I might be able to, if there's a way to do like a more free color palette, that'd be nice, but I'm not sure if I can. Let's try that again. Color manager, okay, no, that's fine. Fly, okay. Oh, there's got to be a better way to do this. Preferences. General. I don't know what to do. Because you can't just add these colour. I guess I can. Just wish it was slightly easier. Because that did not work. That, okay. And then if we just do a little bit of that, and then copy and paste. And then let's see if I can. Right, let's try that again. Copy, and then if I paste. Okay, clearly not that one then. Copy. Paste. Okay, there we go. Right, cool. So with this, I should just be able to make a simple bench. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, it just needs to show that it's a bench. As long as it shows that it's a bench, that's fine by me. Cool, that's looking like the workbench to me. Just might want to do a little bit of that. Okay, cool. So if I look at this, it's just got two little legs. So I could do that and then that. Part of me is like, might want to make them thicker just for clarity. I want my UI to be pretty decent in this game, even if it's not something I'm like incredible at. I'd like UI to be a big part of this game. So having something nice and readable will be good. There might be even a better way to approach this, to be honest. But I reckon there probably is. So hello to the person who's joined the stream. Nice to see you. Okay, I'm gonna try and make this like, as much as 32 by 32, I want to try and make this relatively simple looking. Just like it's already small, but I just want it to make it a bit more like, feel a bit cartoonish compared to what, which is fine. That should be fine if I just do a little bit of Okay, to be fair, that is kind of kind of works. Doesn't quite work, but it kind of works. That's fine. I will, however, need to copy that and add it as a new color. Over here, so if I just Alright, so let's just copy that, paste that, add, and then copy that, copy that, and paste that. Part of me's like, actually, what I could have done is simply just done this, now that I think about it. What was it? Let me just... If I select that, tolerance to 0, if I select that, select all of the white areas, Control X, and then if I just done... If I done Control A, oh no, what's it? Yeah, if I'd have just done Control A, Control C, Control V, and just, like, that works quite well, actually. If I'd have just, all I've got to do is, like, all I've got to do is squash it a bit. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is squash it. If I pull it over by 2, do that by 2, and then pull it up, and then edit it so it doesn't look so weird. And that should be pretty much good to go. And then a white outline, which I will just do quickly myself. How do I do it here? Okay. Okay, cool. So I can just pretty much copy that same pattern here. Okay, right, what am I gonna do? Okay, cool, and then I do that. Nice. So, that will pretty much work as the structure build icon. A blue background isn't a bad... I might do a... What's it? Open reset. If I open the default island, I take that, I copy that, and then I do that as the background for this new layer, and let's just delete this layer. Then I've got, I mean, it's probably not great, but that, if I just raise it up one, I think that's like good for this icon for the structure. So file, save as, let's just do structure icon, wait, workbench icon. Don't save. So now I can import that to Unity. Workbench icon. I then just do the same thing this I would with everything else. Yep, cool. Okay. Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? So if I were to just go to this, if I were to just go to this and that's not what I wanted. Build herd, and if I go to next build, change that to, let me just next build. Let's just drag it to that. Like that works. That looks, and you can probably tell that's the workbench. I'd probably need like UI scaling at some point because the UI is quite small and like that may be easy to see for some people. But for now, I think you can tell that that's the workbench. Obviously in the actual game it wouldn't look like that. So what I need to do is I need to make it so this will be the island select thing I'm going to save for later. I'll basically just copy and paste the code for this. And actually what I might do is work on that actually. Where is it? If I go to the island build rotator, I'm going to copy and paste that, like called structure rotator. Except I believe, and that can be called island rotator. So let's just call this island rotator. There we go, cool, structure rotator. Okay, and then we do structure object, new structure object. I don't need, I'm going to comment out the stuff that needs to be changed. Irons.count, structures. So what I've got to do is structures. And then I just update islands. It's called update structures. Update structures. Okay. That won't work at all for now, but that's fine. It's not appear in the current context. Okay. However, what I'm going to do for now is... Oh, okay, wait, what does it want? Islands structures. where is it? Structures. Structure object. Let's go to assets, scripts. I want to do that, and I want to do structure build script, and then is it the inventory is it the build script? Okay, that should be fine for now. So if we go to structure object, it has structure sprite, structure ID. What I'm gonna need is public sprite structure icon. And then I literally do the same thing. Where is it? Structure rotator. If I do dot, if I change that to structure icon, and then just copy and paste that where it says island sprite. It's not existing current context. I won't need this for now. Actually, I won't need that. I don't think so. I may need to do. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is a public structure object struct object, and with that, with the structure rotator, I will change that to structure build script dot struct object. And I think if I do that, that should be good. Public struct build script structure build script, and I will change that to struct build script equals structure build script. And I believe it is also on the main camera, so I don't know if I'll have to change that. Let me just quickly main camera. Don't know what the structure build script is. Is it the build hub or is it the player? Structure build script. Where is it? Ah, on the structure cursor, that makes sense. Tag structure cursor. Cool. And then if I had that structure cursor, structure build script. Cool. That should in theory work. And then if I were to go to main camera, change that, remove component. If I were to wait, let me just disable that. But if I go to scripts, main camera, structure rotator, which I believe is that one, build rotate. Oh wait, hold on. That is weird. No, it should be fine. Hopefully, structure rotator, add that. It's called that, but it shouldn't technically be that. Build image. Build image and next build. Next build. So, if I was to then... Oh, wait, what? That is weird that it's doing that. Huh. I don't know why it's doing that. That is weird. Anyway, structure rotator. Oh wait, I'm going to restart Unity actually. I think that might... Thank you for saying how you like how I'm doing the AI. That's good. Oh, I hope it'll be alright in the end, but it'll... What was it? To be fair, it'll probably change a lot as the game goes on. I'm going to quickly restart Unity, so I'm just going to turn off my video for now. Okay, there we go. Everything should be sorted now. Okay, cool. Right, let's get back into it. Just gotta wait for Unity to finish properly loading. Okay, here we go. So there was an error. What is the error? 64. Ah, struct build script. That's probably why. That's where the errors come from, and then hopefully it should be fixed anyway now. So if I go to, excuse me, main camera, and then do structure rotator, there we go, and everything seems to be working relatively fine. Structure build script, structure cursor, build, and then next build. That should be good. Structures, if I add there's a structure object. I've made a structure object. I'm pretty confident with that. Yeah, structure object. That not a structure object? Oh wait, did I not programmable object structures? I did not make a structure object. New structure type. Here we go. Workbench. Okay, structure name. A structure icon. Oh, and I need the structure prefab. Structure prefab as well. Workbench. So if I just call, where is it? Structure icon. I don't need the. That should be fine. Structure ID 1 item cost. Let's do stick item, and let's say it needs 8 sticks, and like what's the other? We've got plants. Let's say it needs like 3 plants. That's not ridiculous, but it's not cheap. Actually, wait, no, it'd need to be cheaper than that. It should be fine for now. Let's just go with that. It doesn't matter too much at the moment, and the name is Workbench. So now, if we go over to the... What was it? Now if we go over to main camera, add the Workbench. I'm going to do programmable objects, islands. Does it have? Yeah, it has an island object as well, so I'm going to need to go into scripts. Going to need to go to the structure object. That's the build script. Structure object. Get rid of that, we don't need that. And then do a public game object. Game object structure object. There we go, that should be pretty sorted. So now if I just go, there we go. That should all theoretically be sorted. But who knows how it's going to be. Okay. Okay, cool. So, if I then... It's going to be Z and X. So yeah, there's only one type of structure, so at the moment it's pretty standard. But if I work on placing structures, then I mean that's a lot of the game sorted. Like placing islands and placing structures is the bulk of the game. Okay, I said the bulk of the creative part of the game. There is obviously a much more to come. But if I just get the fundamentals, then hopefully, I'll have a technically working game. But at the moment, it's already coming on better than... I mean, the last version was at least more complete and you could do more stuff, but at least, to be fair, this is coming along pretty well. I will say the slime feels really sluggish. Which is in, he's very slow to move, which isn't the way, and it'll probably be handy later on, but at the moment he does feel a bit slow walking from area to area, so that's something to consider. I haven't actually gained, you don't gain much from... I'm not gaining more and more materials. It tends to be, pretty much stuck in a loop. Anyway, that's enough building. Okay, I need to work on actually placing the structures now. Oh boy. So, with that... Right, okay. Canvas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new canvas. Actually, what I'll do is copy and paste this one. I'll call this the struct HUD. And inside there will be nothing but, there'll only be the build HUD. And I'll remove the build HUD from this. However, everything referencing the build HUD will need to change. So if I see something if I see something that isn't quite right, saying missing, yeah, okay, missing, and then change it. So if I go to, that should be fine, current image, that's fine because I don't need that. But if I do build and then next build, should be good. Okay, that should be good, because what I want to do is disable that unless you're in structure build, because otherwise there's no point in that being there. And I think that's fine. What do I want to do? What am I going to do? Okay, this needs to go, but it needs to swap. That's fine. If I go to the scripts, I then go to the structure rotator. No, where is it? Build script, here we go. Probably many flaws I'm doing at the moment. Here we go. I can basically just do that, but for this. So if I open up the structure rotator as well, if I open up these two, should be all right. Okay, yeah. So, what I want to do is, so there's full build mode. I'm going to, so I've already got reference to that. If struct build script dot build mode, then it can do all of this, because there's no point doing let's check if that's got any errors just in case, because I don't want any errors. So for now, theoretically I shouldn't be able to switch. Press 0x. Let's try it. Nope, 0x not working. I press E for build mode. I don't. You notice that changed. Perfect. It's exactly what I want. So with that, so we've checked that's build mode. What we can do is I want a reference to this, or more specifically this. So let's do right, let's figure out, because I still want the thing to be there just in case. I don't want to like enable and disable the game object. I'm just going to enable and disable the canvas. So if we get a properties, what was it? No. If we get you can't do that. You can't get a reference, but that's fine. So, okay, yeah, that's fine. So, using Unity Engine.ui, I should just be able to, if build mode, let's get a reference to the struct HUD. So, public game object struct HUD. Let's just call it same as that. So then, struct HUD dot get component canvas dot enabled is equal to true, and then we'll just do the same thing for down here except false. And I think with that's pretty that's like pretty sorted. Obviously there is no animation, and at one point I'll probably do an animation of some kind. But for now, I'm focusing on getting the mechanics of the game done rather than all the polish. The polish comes later. I want to get the actual game sorted. So if we turn that off, then if we go to the main camera and wait, no, I need to find the structure cursor because that's what the build script is. Then we find the structure HUD. Press play. So if I press E, that appears, and that. So if we press E, it's fairly like, there you go, it's there. So that shows you what you're going to be building. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, that makes sense to me. Seems alright. That works, at least. Right. Okay, what am I going to do here? So, we've got that sorted. What I need to do is connect this to that. Okay, so, when we go into build mode, I want to get this structure. Actually, what I'm going to do is, I think I've already done it. Struct build script is equal to structure's current index. Makes sense. So this should automatically be updated. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to create a void, and it's going to be called place structure. I'm going to need to get the island builder script up and basically use the similar stuff to that. So I need to find it. change island. Build. It's the build script here. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, wait, I didn't realise I did all the checks manually. I imagined I'd do the checks. Okay. Okay. I'm going to change that and put that into the player inventory script. So let's actually do a little bit of, because this is going to be something I'm going to need to get called a lot. Basically, I'll explain what I'm doing once I get the inventory script up. Because I've noticed something, a bit of an issue. Okay, this here, the build. All it's doing is it gets the tile, I believe, that we're selecting, and it gets the island we want to build. It will then get the, I'm trying to work it out, it will then get the tile script, so the script for each tile of the object we're looking at, and it will get the index of the tile. It will then get the player inventory, just so it can call it later, and then it will do, this is the big thing, this is what it does to check how much of the item is in an inventory. It starts off with 0 checks, because we haven't checked a single thing of the inventory, but we go into this. First of all, we check to see if we have, what was it? I'm actually gonna have to check, because this is, oh, that was it, okay. Basically, all that we're doing is checking if we have enough items to build with. Simply put, we just check. So I've already got a method, is what you called a set of code, which simply checks to see if the player has enough of an item, a specified item, and if it does, then it increases the checks and continues to the next 4. Otherwise, it will just spit out a thing saying not enough items, and it will end. And so then what it does is, if the amount of checks matches up with how many items, so if the amount of checks, if it's done enough checks as the amount of items we need, for example, say it's checked wood, that's 1 check, then it's checked stone, that's 2 checks, and wood and stone are 2 items. So if the checks are 2 and the items are 2, then it will do the whole building an island thing. What I want to do is simplify, because I'm going to need this for a lot of things. Anything involving like costs and items, I'm going to need this for. So I want this to go in the inventory script, more or less. So I'm going to create a, because I did collect items, I've done remove from inventory, done check inventory count. I want to create a public void, and I guess I could call this check inventory, check item costs, check item list. This will take in 2 lists. It will take in a integer list. Let me just quickly get the island type up. Island, where is it? Island object. Is it I thought it was island object, not item object. Ah, here we go. Island object. 2 lists. So we want a list item object and a list int for this. So if we go into that, so we want list island object and a list int. I guess this should be a boolean, I'd imagine, because it's returning true or false. So all we got to do is then we basically just got to take this code, pretty much, we just got to take this code and we have got to feed it into here. So I'm just going to do that. It's not quite that simple, but if the, so let's call this island. Actually, yeah, I think I should just be able to get an island object. So I've got to change island script. What did I call it? Oh, island type, yeah. Okay, so island object called island type. So if I do if I get rid of that because I don't need that, and then I just do inventory, and then change where it says play inventory because this is the player inventory. And basically I can just do that, remove from inventory. If checks, what is it? Okay, this however I'm going to keep because I want that to just return true. Basically this should check item list for me, and if I have the desired stuff it will just say yep, you're fine, basically. So it's like yep, you're fine. So now I should just be able to, if what is it? Let's do if player inventory dot check item list. It should basically just do this. So now all I've got to do is do that. Theoretically that should be fine. If player inventory dot check item list, and let's give it island type, then theoretically that should work, and it just means I can reuse it for later. I've got errors, because of course I do. 162, be inventory script 162, return true. Forgot to do a colon. Type name cannot be found. 144.31. Is it island object? Oh, I capitalized it. Oops. Here we go. Let's try and figure this one out. 144.17. Else return false. So I think I should just do that. That name checks not exist in the current context, which I need to figure what that is. 6932. 4 int. Oh, right, okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I believe it should only work if because for it to work, checks has to be the same as island type item cost count. So I could just, and that's already a thing. So if I just did that, there'd be no real issue. And then theoretically that should just work the same, and I should hopefully have no issues. So let's try that, and then you might be able to see what that will benefit me in a sec. So if I pick up all these items, I've got no errors. So it seems to me that this is working. I've got no errors. I'm getting the same stuff as before. So to me that indicates that that works perfectly fine, and exactly as, thankfully, exactly as I was hoping. But with this I can never expect what's going on because it's programming and it's never nice to you, no matter how hard you try. So with that sorted, we can basically now go onto the structure build script, and what we can do is play structure, but we can now we don't have to copy and paste this all the way there. We can literally just do check item list instead of, oh wait, I've realised an issue here. Check item list, it's only checking for the island types. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to reorder this. So it should be, I'm gonna do count cost and item cost. So we're gonna need two lists. We're gonna need list of I believe, let me check island object, list of item objects, and call that item cost, and then a list of ints, and that could be, and that's count cost. However, I don't really want to, so let's do that. So now what we can do is we can basically just do this. Get rid of all, where it says island type, we can just get rid of that. Get rid of all of that, and then we can just Theoretically, that should also work. However, we will need to change something in the change island script, because instead of check island type, we'll need to do island type dot item cost and island type dot count cost. Now, again, that should have no issues, but we'll have to see. And it means it'll work better for the structures, because instead of it just checking island stuff, it will check anything that has items and costs, which the structures do too. If we go to the structure script, which is, where is it? Project, structure object, it also has an item cost and a count cost, which is the same as an island object. Item cost, count cost, which is exactly what the inventory thing needs. Item cost, count cost. Okay, so with that, I can now go on to this. So check if we do, we're going to need to call the inventory, but we would need to anyway. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm simply going to do the same thing as I did in the change island script. I'm going to get, just going to get this. And now we're going to do a similar thing again. We're going to do if play, basically that. Basically just going to do that, except instead of island type, it will be struct object, which I'm going to change to structure type, simply because it just keeps it with what we've done earlier. So if I do that, so struct type, and then struct type, and then if I go to structure object, count cost, noun cost, that's all fine. And then if that, going to edit this just to make it a bit more fair on the players. Not that eventually it won't matter anyway. Okay, yeah, that should all work fine. That should be fine. Structure build script, play inventory, check item list, struct type, item cost, struct type, count cost. Yep. So that's all fine. So if the player has enough items to build the structure, we need to then figure out what we're going to do to build the structure. And for that, I've got a little idea. So, let's check the console. We have got an error, so I'm going to need to do this. So I need to find struct object, so I'm going to call it struct type, because that's what I named it. But I've got a little idea. So for each tile, we're going to have to add something to the tiles. So if I go to the assets, and if I go to the prefabs, and if I go to the tiles, let's see, what have we got here? With the tiles, I'm going to basically need a structure container. So within this, I'm going to need to create an empty, and I'm going to call it structure container. All this is going to be is simply something that has or doesn't have a structure. It's going to be an empty game object, and all it will do is it will check to see if it's got a structure. If basically, what was it? If it does have a structure, we can't build something there, but if it does, we can, or whatever it may be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go to the structure build script, and I'm going to do instantiate, and I'm going to instantiate, and this is where it's going to be tricky. What I'm going to need is I'm going to need the island. I'm going to place structure, and I'm going to need island, because I'm going to need a game object. So game object island. So, and then island, I'm going to need to check to see if the island has a structure. how am I going to do that? Because at the moment it's just checking the... At the moment it's just checking the island, not the tile. So I'm going to need to get its parent. I'm going to search this up. Get parent unity. The issue is I need to figure out what it's getting. Dot get component. Right, okay, we can work this out. So if we go to the object, what is the tile? Where is the tile script? The tile script is on this. Okay, that's fine. So we can actually. Oh no, this should be fine. This should be fine. So if we go to the tile, if we then... How did I do the building? I'm going to quickly check to see how I did the building. Because let me open tile script. Assets, scripts, tile script. Yep, so it's to destroy and instantiate. Okay, cool. Get child 0.gameObject. What I'm going to have to do is get child with name, get child with name unity. Okay, wait. So transform.find. So if I do transform.find and I do... Okay, that's fine. So instantiate with parent unity. Let's check. So I should be able to, I'd imagine, transform parent. Yep. Quaternion.identity, and then I'm going to do parent. So if we then do transform okay, wait, we can do this. So if we do transform and we call it structure container is equal to, we're going to need to get the island. So we're going to call it island dot collider. So island dot get component transform dot is it find? Let's do a dot find. So I need to do that. Dot find, and it'll be called structure container. So let's simply call it struct com. Theoretically that should be fine. And then so we do instantiate. And I need to look at the parameters for instantiate because I'm so forgetful. object. So we're gonna need struct type dot where is it? Structure object, struct type dot structure object at where we can just do with the parent, so let's just do struct con. Theoretically that should work. 34, 29. Oh, 34, 29, need to find that. Oh, there you go, yep. 34, 20, 34, 39. Oh, yep. Here we are. So structure container, cool. I mean, theoretically that'll work, but what I want to do is oh wait, no. Okay. I want to do I think I'm thinking of doing a similar thing to this. Having an update structure. I think that'd be worth it. I think that'd be worth it. So let's call it the struct container script. Let's open it up and let's basically copy this. Wait. Do that. Okay. Call it struct container script. And then let's do struct, so structure object int index, and then let's just get rid of that because I don't need this. I won't need that. I should just need update struct. So update structure. Git updates game object instantiate self dot struct. Let's just do self dot structure object this dot transform. That should be fine. If, and then we just do if struct con dot how do we do this? Has child, so has child unity. If an object contains a child. That's pretty simple. Transform.child count is greater than 0. Sorry, is less than 1. It's probably the better way of putting it there. Let's just do less than 1. Then we can just do I need to call a reference to the structure container script. Okay, that's not too bad. And then we do struct container is equal to struct conscript is equal to struct con dot game object dot get component structure container script. And then we should just be able to do struct conscript dot update structure. $64.91. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So this is a lot. Structure container script. Oh, struct container script. That's why. You know, it's probably best if I keep it as structure container script. Structure container script. Console name struct conscript does not exist in the current context. Oh, structure container script. There we go. That should be one of the issues. And then if I do transform dot game object, let me try lowercase g. Theoretically, that should work. And I mean, I'm hoping it does. Okay, let's build a couple structures. Actually, no, I'm not, because I don't have the cost for it. So let's just go to the, where is it? Yes, programmable object structure. Wait, okay, I should change that to structures. Workbench, let's say it costs 1 plant, 1 stick, 1 plant. Then if I go to the, what was it? Assets, prefabs. If I do the clear island, and then let's just quickly get a resource island. Let's quickly go for that. So let's get rid of the tree. Let's get rid of the stick item. You can be a stick item. You can be a stick item. You can be a stick item, and the others can be a plant item. And let's just I should just be able to, like, I kind of just want to use that, but without the resource island. Okay, I'm going to quickly whip up and I'm going to quickly get a sprite ready for the, so if I do to the default island, I'm going to quickly get a sprite for this. So if I do a little bit of that, so now I've just got to edit this. Cool. Shouldn't be too difficult to pull off. Should just be able to do something like this. It doesn't need to be extravagant, it literally is just so it works. And so I've got something to test. So then if I move that up, cool. So if I save that as resource island dot png, save. Okay, cool. So now I should just be able to assets, sprites. We're getting somewhere, to be fair. I know it may not look it, but we are. This has made a lot of progress today, actually. A decent amount of progress that I'm really happy with. Would it be HUD? I imagine that goes under HUD. Same with the workbench. Island sprites, let's put over there, and then let's do structure. Island sprites, resource island, 32, single, point no filter, none, apply. That should work. So then if I go to programmable objects, islands, resource island, and finally, that should all work as long as, and this is the issue I've just realised because I've got no way of switching islands at the moment. As long as I figure this out, it should be fine. I'm not going to worry too much. Okay. So if we get a few resources, if we set this to resource island, that did not end up there. Oops. Oh no, I see why that didn't work. Player, which has the change island. Okay, we go island type, resource island. Okay, there we go. So if I just get a bunch of resources here, I should just be able to. I don't know why it's okay. That is odd. There is no buffer. I've realised there is no buffer. That can be fixed at a later date. There's basically, it's just instantly spamming new islands when it shouldn't. If I go to the console creator and oh no, never mind, didn't do that. Well, it's taking more items than it should for seemingly no reason. And I'm very curious as to why. Okay, there is definitely something going on here. There is definitely something going on here. Why is it not? I'm just going to do that. Anyway, it should be fine for now. As long as I'm careful. If I go to the main camera, that is something I'm really going to have to figure out in the future. Because that is not good, if that's how it's acting. There is something very wrong that is going on. And I'm not entirely sure why, because it's deleting rocks when it shouldn't do. That is something I'm really going to have to figure out in the future. But for now, let's just see if the structures is working. So, console. Yeah, okay. I see. CS61. Play inventory.check item list. Okay. That's weird. Why aren't you? Structure cursor, structure build script, struct type. Interesting. Oh wait, hold on. I've just realised because we never actually. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna set the. Oh, I'm gonna set that to the workbench, and I've realised what is going on, and I'm gonna have to quickly. That won't take long to fix. to open up the build script. That is weird, however, about the items mysteriously disappearing, and I don't like that at all. And I'm mildly scared for what it is that's going on. Item cost .cav. So how is it removing items? I forgot how I did that. Remove item. Item locations new list in check inventory count. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. If find I equals 0. Oh, okay, so it's clearly a remover function somewhere. My brain is getting way too just bleh for this. Oh wait, remove. Oh wait, okay, I see. Okay, that is weird. If so if that's bigger than the quantity. If the item is bigger than the quantity, I should just and then so. So it checks the. Oh, okay. Wait, I see. So it checks. It goes through the whole inventory. If the current inventory item ID is equal to the item ID of the thing we're looking for, it adds that location. It adds that to the location list, and then a spare integer called j equals item locations.count -1. Why is it -1? List.count unity. Why is it -1? Oh, I see. Number of elements because it isn't just the length. Okay, I see. No, I see why I did that. And while j is greater than or equal to 0, inventory removed by j. Okay, so that makes sense. I'm seeing why I'm doing that. That doesn't seem like it's doing anything wrong to me. So let's just press on, I guess. And then if build mode. Let's not do that because that won't work. If I want to, what's it? If input.getKeyDown, get key down, and let's just put keycode.r. I don't think R's doing anything. Place structure. Actually, let's do B. Place structure, and then place structure island. In theory, that should work, and I really hope it does. Base island requires a rock and a plant. theoretically the stick cost should never decrease. Unless is programmable objects items. Huh. These shouldn't be getting mixed up unless they are. Alright, so I placed that. And what was it? So go programmable objects. Let's just do main camera, base island, yep. Base island, it should get rid of, theoretically it should get rid of. So it should get rid of. It should get rid of 1 rock, 1 plant. At the moment it gets rid of 2 rocks, 2 plants, and 1 stick. Which is very, very weird. And sometimes it will get rid of even more. And I'm not sure why. Huh. Let's just quickly go to the, what was it? Structure cursors, workbench. Huh. I've got enough for it. So, whatever this island is, storage container has nothing. Interesting. So place structure, inventory script, find cool. If we play it, check item cost. Huh. And then so we do structure, struct conscript, assets. Scripts, structure container script. Destroy. Wait. If. Wait, I should do an if statement. Cool. So I wonder why it isn't working. Struct constant. If this dot transform. Let's try that. Interesting. I wonder why this isn't working. Interesting. So if I press R. Oh wait, that's because I've been pressing R when it's B. It's kidding. It's R. It's B. Let me try this. Let me try this now. Right, okay, we are. So now we got an error. Okay, structure cursor, light 67. Right, okay, here we are. Doc. Okay. So if I go to prefabs, and if I go to tile, structure container, and then I do structure container script. That's because I haven't added a structure container script to these things. That's why I haven't added a structure container script to the structure containers. That's why it's not working. Okay, let's try this again, and maybe, just maybe, this will work. Right, let's see, does this work? So let's build some islands. Let's press A to open that, press B. Again, I got another object reference, same with 67. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check. I'm going to... There is a structure container script. Interesting. So still line 67. Get component structure container script. So they all have it technically. How am I gonna? Because like maybe it's not getting the right thing. Huh. Huh. Wish it would give me a little bit more to go off. Let's try debug.log struct.com. Let's see what happens there. I do still need to figure out the whole why is the items randomly going for the inventory. That at some point I will need to fix and address because it seems a little crazy what it's doing. But I'm not entirely sure what to do at the moment. It might be something I do off stream. Like I don't know if anyone knows, I fixed the tile issue. There was issues with when you select stuff for tiles, you get tons of errors. I fixed that off stream. So it might be something I have to look at myself. So if I press B, right, console, null. Okay. So it isn't fine. Right, I see. Okay, so it is not getting this. Island.get component transform. Should be able to get component transform. Find structure container. Transform.find unity. Finds child by name n and returns it. If no child name could be found, null is returned. If n contains a slash character, yep, okay. So if we do get component transform dot find. Right, let's try this. So if we do debug.log island, let's just do that. That sounds dumb, but let's just do that. Get log island. Let's try that, see what happens. I'm gonna try and get this sorted, and then I'll probably leave stream. Right, a couple things. I'm going to be doing the GMTK Game Jam this week. It is from this Thursday to this what was it? It's from this Thursday to this Sunday. So because of that, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be honest, I might let you know on stream how that goes. I might record it, I might do it for the YouTube channel, I don't know. But I am going to do GMTK Game Jam. I'm looking forward to it. I've been wanting to do it. So hopefully it goes well. But we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so it's getting right interesting. Interesting. So I need to get the get parent unity, and then I need to do the. Okay, I see. So if I do dot get parent dot transform dot parent dot find, so dot parent makes the game object new parent. Okay, wait, hold on. Dot transform dot parent. Okay, wait. Dot parent. Okay, dot find. Theoretically, that should work. If not, I should be able to fix it, and it should have no issues. Let's see. Does this work? It'd be nice to end on a win for this stream. Be nice to end with something working, even if not everything's fully working, as I found out with the whole building situation, which really does bug me. Okay, E to open that, B to build. Transform child out of bounds. Interesting. Transform child out of bounds. Let's have a look at this error. I haven't seen this error before, I don't think. I might have done. Unity. Let's search up, see what happens when we. Let's Control C. What does this error mean? Let's have a look at Stack Overflow. I have 6 miles of the current fixed string. What does it mean? Transform child out of bounds. Wait, I should probably look at where that's coming from, actually. I should look at where that is coming from. It is coming from place structure at structure contains script at CS25. Oh, okay, wait. Wait. Huh. Wait, let's have a look. So at 36, so if I go to structure build script, let's try and track this down. So 36 takes us to that, 70 takes us to that, so it's in here. Okay, so it's something. Okay, so at least the rest is working. Something to do with this. Oh, is greater than 0. That's why it's not working. Okay, and now theoretically that should all work. Hopefully, I'm hoping this should work. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting a little nervous because I really don't want to be dealing with this for ages. So if I press E, then B. Oh boy. Okay, at least it's something else now. 27. 27. What's going on here? Let's go to 27. Instantiate self.structure object this.transform. Ah, self. Okay. That. I see. So let's just do struct conscript dot self is equal to. Let's find a struct type. Oh, I think you never know what's going to pop up, but maybe that'll be it too. I'm still genuinely so curious about the the inventory removing not working. I'm gonna have to figure that one out because I was proud of the inventory script and it's bugging me out that it isn't properly working. Okay, nothing's happening, which is a shame because I'd like at least an error. So let's go to if I go to that one, which is Interesting. So it has the structure. Let me have a look at that. Let me have a look. Oh, it's simply... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. So if I do 10, guys, the structure's there. It's just a little small. That is something I need to figure out. Okay, structure. No, that's not what I want. Prefabs. So that's not... Okay, what the... Have I simply not created... I don't think I've created the structure... I don't think I've created the... Oh, it's an A sprite input. Oh, oops. That's why. That's because that's what I need to import. I think. Let's try a structure cursor. Let's go to that workbench. Structure. Yeah, that's not it. It needs to be structure. So let's go to that and let's open up that. I think. What did I think it's because it's meant to be. Let's try it now, because I see what the issue was before. Built it on the wrong... Not what I was expecting at all. Why on earth did it build it over there? That is... oh wait, no, that's just simply... I think that's not anything to worry about. I'm hoping it's not. I think that is simply... Right, you can go out because you're not really a prefab. Where is it? Assets, sprites. You, however, can go into prefabs. Where are you? Prefabs. I think you are something to worry about because you should be there. So let's try that now. And hopefully, finally, that's it sorted. So let's just build a couple islands. Say a couple, I'm going to build like one. E and B. Look at that. Not fully there, and I didn't really have much time to appreciate that there. But that is there, all things considered. All things considered, that is there. But, and you know what? I can't really be too mad. So now let's try it one last time. So let's build those, and again I'll figure out the disappearing items at some point. Look, okay, it's not, obviously it's not perfect. But to be fair, as a start, that's certainly placing a structure. That's certainly placing a structure. Let's try and, like, shadow, let's try and put that to 1. If I find the, wait, game, if I find the right thing. So have I locked my cursor here? I hope not. Okay, there we go, structure, here we are. If we go put that at a 1, then try the game. Because it looks a bit odd, the way it is. I mean, theoretically it should be fine if we order everything. Anyway, if we order everything properly, that should be good to go. But I think that's a pretty decent high note to end on. It's not perfect. There's a lot to go, but we have worked out changing structures and placing structures. I think that's a pretty good accomplishment there. I think we can call that, like, decent. I'm gonna, however, change the player. The players, I'm gonna have to change the color of the player. Where is it? Main color. Let's just copy this. And player. Let's get the player back to their typical red color. What would be nice is if to figure out how to change these based on the player color. However, it's going to be a bit harder because they're not sprites with very set colors. Like, look, there are 3 colors for this. If you can zoom in here, there's 2 main colors, but then there's all the little inter colors here. And that's not simple as just replacing the color. But I could probably figure out some other stuff to do. I might be able to just simply do a little overlay. Like, I could work something out eventually. But for now, that's pretty good. Anything else? I think that's it. And I think that is where I will end the stream.